You want to create a really beautiful look, things that really kind of blend together and go together and work well together, but you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Like, oh, this is the easiest smoky eye ever! Exclamation, hashtag. Hey guys, it's Lene with Charmed and Dangerous. Today I wanted to share with you some of the tips that I think are extremely helpful in helping beginners to apply eyeshadow. Eyeshadow sometimes is a very hard thing to perfect. It's a very hard thing to apply and get it to look just right. So today I'm just going to share with you a few of my tips that I think will help you if you are a beginner to put on perfect eyeshadow and be really, really happy with the outcome. So if you're interested in learning a couple of my tips and tricks and suggestions, eyeshadow is wonderful. There are so many different colors. It can really change the look of your face up so much, especially if you're going for a certain kind of style or a certain kind of look. But it can be a little bit tricky. So since I'm kind of like new to the game, I'm not an expert at any of this. I didn't go to like cosmetology school to tell you how to put on your eyeshadow. These are just kind of things that I have learned through watching videos and also through kind of like experimenting with it, really wanting to perfect certain looks, really wanting to make my eyeshadow very, very beautiful, and some mistakes that I made that I kind of had to learn from. So I'm just going to share with you just some of my suggestions. Again, I'm not an expert, and there may be better ways to do things. Some of these may not work for everybody. This is just what I feel really, really helped me when I was stumbling through a few months ago, figuring out how the hell do I get this to look right, because it doesn't. So, I'm going to start first of all with your utensils that you use. Utensils, it makes it sound like we're eating. Like, although I am hungry. Anyways, the tools that you use. So having the right tools for the job, as my stepdad likes to say, I feel is very important. Now these don't have to be expensive tools. You do not have to have that like MAC brush that's like $30, or what is that other brand everyone's always talking about? I can't remember now. Whatever, it's expensive. I've seen it. I've been to Ulta. Some of these brushes for like a little tiny eyeshadow brush, it's like $30. Like, who has that kind of money? If you do, great. I'm sure they're very, very good quality brushes. But if you're a beginner, you might not want to spend a crap ton of money on stuff that you're not really sure how to use. So I suggest just getting some cheap brushes. These are just a couple of the brushes that I have. Everything except for this one here is from e.l.f. So I think e.l.f. has a really good array of brushes. The ones with the white, these are their basic line. These are 99 cents. 99 cents. And then the studio ones, the ones with the black, I believe these are like $1.99, maybe $2.99. I can't really remember, but overall, 99 cents, $1.99, $2.99. They're pretty inexpensive, and they're really actually a good quality. They really work really well, and having an array of brushes to do looks with, I think, is one of the things that is really, really helpful. And I will just tell you kind of what I use these brushes for. This big one right here, you can see it's nice and dirty. This is what I use usually to do like underneath my eyebrow. So to highlight underneath my eyebrow, it's big enough that it gets in there. And you can also use this kind of fat brush to pack on eyeshadow. And you can also use, if you're a little bit squeamish, you're going to pack on too much, a smaller one. This is also by e.l.f. It's just like a smaller one. And then I have like a little one that I use for my outer corner to blend. I have these that I apply with and blend, and then I have like a big fluffy one. This is by LA Colors, I believe. This I got at Family Dollar. It was like it came in a 2-pack for like $2 or $3, I think. It's just like a fatter one. This I use for blending. So I think it's good to just kind of know what you're going to use each brush for, and you don't have to be like, you don't have to use the big fat fluffy one just to blend. You can apply color with it too. You can really, really do whatever you want with these brushes. Just to have a good array of tools, I think, is a very, very large tip, instead of, you know, spending $30 on one like eyeshadow brush and then you're kind of stuck using that one brush and you don't have an array of things that you can kind of work with and kind of try and see what works for you. Sorry, my fiance interrupted me. He always does this when I'm in the middle of a video. I'm like, why? Why do you pick now? It's like your phone rang. Cool. Anyway, I think having just the right tools for the job is really, really helpful, instead of just kind of using your fingers or being stuck with one brush. So that's my number one, maybe not number one, but I will say my first tip. And also,
experiment with color. It is going to be easier to do like a neutral eye look because there's not a there's not a lot of like blending that you may have to do, or you know, there's not a lot of colors going on where you don't, it's like too harsh over here, it's too bright over here, and you just don't have it even. Neutral looks, very natural toned down looks are going to probably be your easiest, but don't shy away from color. That's one thing I did. I wore, like I'm wearing one today simply because I woke up late. And I just didn't have time for all that because I had like 10 minutes to leave the house. And I was like, okay, we got to go. Throw something on there. But experimenting with color I think is great because color can really just bring such a pop to your face. And it can really just change a look. And you can really experiment with the different colors and adding colors together and blending colors together. And color is beautiful. So don't shy away from color just because you're new. This is just a very cheap palette. I'm just going to show you. This is by LA Colors as well. This was like $1. At the dollar store, and it's just a really, really pretty palette with a lot of different colors in there. They might not be the best quality shadows, but you can experiment with color in a very cheap way. $1. You can get this, you can sit down with it, you can experiment with the colors, mix them together, blend them together, just use one color overall. I don't shy away from color. Yes, do neutral looks, experiment with the neutral shadows because that's going to be your best bet to really kind of learn what you're doing. At least that's what worked for me. But don't shy away from color. When I first kind of started and I was like, you know what, I'm going to put some color in there. I had a lot of colored eyeshadows and I was like not using them because I was afraid, because I tried to and it was like all over my fucking face. I would try one. So I would do a very, very neutral look and then I would take, say, a blue here, and I would pop that blue like out on the outer corner and blend that in and kind of work with that in one color until I kind of got better at what I was doing. And then I was like, oh, well, I can mix these two colors together, or I can do this here, or I can do that here, and my creative juices just started flowing. So definitely experiment with color. Don't shy away from color just because you're new and you feel like you're gonna fuck it up, because you might fuck it up, but it's gonna be amazing when you learn how to do it. The next thing I absolutely recommend is a primer or concealer for your eyelids. So taking into consideration this dollar palette, some of these, they look really bright. Some of them, the pigmentation though is not so good when you put them on your skin. Some of them are better than others. Like you see, oh, that's really, really bright until you start blending and then it like fades away and now you can barely see that. A primer, or you can use a concealer as a primer, is really going to add a base and it's really going to help those colors pop. So you're not going to feel frustrated like I put this bright blue and it didn't stay. So this is just an e.l.f. concealer. This was like $1.99, or you can, e.l.f. concealer, eye primer, or you can use a concealer and you just place it all over your eyelid, blend it in, and it's really going to help the staying power and help the pigmentation come out of your eyeshadow. So that's another tip. And I just think it's a great tip because a lot of times when you see a really pigmented color, it doesn't always necessarily go on that way. So understand that too. It's not always going to be as bright as it is in the container. It's not always going to blend as well as you thought, or, you know, stay as vibrant as it is. But an eye primer or a concealer, or even using like a white eyeshadow pencil as like a base, will really help those colors really pop and bring them out. And you'll get that look that you're going for without wanting to choke somebody out because your fantastic vibrant electric blue didn't show up that way on your eyelids. Another tip that I have, and then we're going to get into like the real good stuff, is to do palettes. This one I got in like one of those little goodie bags at Ulta. This one I believe was like $2.99. This is one of their newer ones. This is Tunnel Vision. This is from Wet n Wild. I got this at the drugstore. I think these little kind of mini like trios or quads, little palettes, are really great because you don't have to, as like a newbie, you know, come up with all of these different like arrangements. You know, you don't have to look in your drawer and say, okay, so I should use this as a brow and I should use this here, but then what if that doesn't match there? And then sometimes it's a little bit overwhelming because you want to create a really beautiful look, things that really kind of blend together and go together and work well together, but you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Like you just don't. I didn't. I was confused and stuff just wasn't going right. So getting things like this, especially the Wet n Wilds, because they're labeled like this is the base, this is the brow bone. I don't use that as the brow bone, but it's besides the point. These are really helpful because you can kind of go in here and you have everything that you need to create a beautiful look and kind of figure things out and get a feel for what colors are going to go good together, how the blending and everything is supposed to go in one container. You don't have to kind of pick and choose and stress yourself out. It's all there for you. So I really, really, really love these, especially the new ones they have, because they have some mattes and some shimmers in there. I like to mix. I feel like if I do an all shimmer, it's too much. If I do an all matte, it's not enough. I like to mix like the shimmers and the mattes together. I think it gives a really well-rounded look. So another tip, side note, I think that just gives a really well-rounded look. Unless you're going for that like a pixie fucked my eyelid thing, then by all means use all shimmer. That's just, it's not what I go for. I think these are really great. Having things like these, they're really, really great. And you can really kind of make a good look all like in one inclusive thing and not stress out. The last thing I'm going to talk about, and I'm sure I'm forgetting something, and I'm probably like 27 minutes in, but the last thing I'm going to talk about is tips when using your brushes. One thing that I kind of found, especially watching videos, is, for instance, we'll use this as an example. If you're going to do like a smoky eye look and you want it really, really dark on the side, I would go in and I would take my small brush. This is what the people on YouTube said to do. I would take my small brush and I would go in that side, and I'm going to do it for you. Okay, I would go and I would dab it in the black. You dab it in the black and then you dab it off. And then you go in and you put it on the outside and you go up into your crease, they say, into your crease. And you're going all over and you're doing this and you're doing it like, you know, they're like, yeah, you know, they're getting in there. And then you get all of this stuff way up here. It's way too dark. It's not blending out, and you're trying to blend it out more, and you're just getting it everywhere, and you're like, okay, well, let me take my blendy, and you're blending, and it's not blending, and it was getting very frustrating. So one tip I will say, if you're going to use a darker color on the outside, build up. It's best to build up your eyeshadow. So take maybe this color here, a lighter color, place that on the outside first, blend that all in. Then maybe even take another darker color, work that in, and then take the black and then work that in. Build up so you're not just like throwing this like black stuff or this very dark color on your eye and you're getting frustrated because you can't blend it out the way you feel like you want to blend it out. Another thing I will say is blend in between colors. So like for instance, if you're going to use this light color and you're going to put it on, blend in between and then go in with your next darkest color, apply it, move it around, then blend in between. Blending with a big fluffy brush is just going to soften everything up, and you're not going to have these like harsh, crazy like lines all over your eye. It's really going to just smooth everything out and make it look wonderful, like you were like kissed by awesomeness. So that's my tip for that. Another thing, the last thing I will say before I shut the hell up, is to not push too hard. When you see some, you know, YouTube videos, I mean, they're getting it. They really, like you saw I was just doing, they're really getting it. And they're like going in there and they're like, yeah, and you blend it out and you do this and this. And to me, it looked like they were pushing really hard. So I'm going in there and I'm like, yeah, I'm getting in my crease. And it's not pretty. It doesn't feel good and it doesn't create a pretty look. Go in very softly. Use a very light hand. This is something it took me a long time to figure out. Use a light hand, almost like it's just kind of flapping in your hand. Go in lightly. Lightly apply color. Lightly blend. Don't do anything too hard. Don't push too hard. Almost like things are just gliding over your skin like a smooth baby's butt. That's what you want to go for, or at least that helps me. But blend very, very lightly. You don't have to like push really hard to get the color in there or to blend it out. It's going to muddy it. It's going to like shit. So that I think that's all I have. I feel like I don't know if any of this was helpful. I don't know if I set this up well where everyone can really understand what I was going for, because I know I ramble and I talk really fast. But I'm hoping that some of those kind of things that I've just told you, they really do help you in applying your eyeshadow. Just remember, it's a, like I look crazy now with this one eye. Just remember, it's a work in progress. You are not going to, unless you're just a fucking genius, want to do an eyeshadow look that's like amazing and wonderful. Even a smoky eye, they say they're easy. They're not easy for everybody. It's my point. Like, everyone's like, oh, this is the easiest smoky eye ever! Exclamation hashtag. No. It was fucking hard. And it didn't work. Like, just be patient and don't get frustrated, and don't expect that because somebody on YouTube or somebody somewhere did this amazing eye and like titled it easiest smoky eye ever, that it's really going to be easy for you, because it may not. It wasn't for me. I tried so many easy, simple, wonderful, fabulous tutorials, and it didn't turn out looking anything like the lady in the video. So just be patient. Be kind to yourself. Work with yourself. Practice. Come home. Take off your makeup. Sit there and practice so that you can perfect things. And if any of you guys have any questions, if this made absolutely no sense, please let me know. And I will organize it better and redo another one for you. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Ask me questions. Throw stuff at me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit this big like button. Give me a big thumber. And also hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, so you don't miss any more crazy rambling videos with me talking too fast. See? I slowed that down. I do need to work on that. And then I just thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you guys for all of your support. Those who are subbed, thank you so much. If you're not subbed, get your shit together. Get it together and sub. You're taking too long. And I will see you guys soon in another video. Bye.